Hello, everyone. Looks who's here. My sister Joyce Hicks is here in the studio, and Joyce and I known each other for a while in OnPassive, but it's been a while since we actually have a chance to sit down and chat with each other, and so I reached out to her and I wanted to invite her here just to have a heart-to-heart conversations. And so, without further ado, Joyce Hicks, if you would please say hello and let's get our conversation started.
Hello, Julie. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here and have a heart to heart with you. It has been a while since we've chatted, and I'm just really excited that you asked me. And I love you, Julie. You're just a sweet person, and um, I'm just so blessed that we were able to meet each other. And like you said, we've known each other for a while, and just loving what we're doing, loving the journey, and excited.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your kind words. And absolutely, you and I, we have some memories together. We had our conversations, the first conversation that we had for the Julie and Milo show.
Yes.
And we've kind of seen each other grow in this on passive community. And it's just really nice to actually sit down and have this conversation together. So, there's other people watching this video that actually have don't know who you are. You are out there. You are in a lot of webinars. I believe that you help run a webinar as well. However, there's other newcomers that probably don't know who Joyce Hicks is. And so, if you would take a few moments and talk a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Joyce Hicks, and I'm excited to be here with a heart to heart with Julie. And like I said, she said, and I said, it's been a while since we've chatted. About myself. Sometimes it's like hard to talk about yourself because you're like, what do I do? And who am I? But I am Joyce Hicks. I am married to my wonderful husband, Melvin, for 42 years, or is that 43? Oh, 42 years. And we have three adult children, beautiful children. Um, we have 13 grandchildren and three great grandchildren. So I'm excited about that. I love my family. I love spending time with family, doing things together. I love to travel. We travel together. I am a social worker by profession, and I owned a private practice. I was blessed to retire last year, and I'm semi-retired, so I kind of, do a little bit of other things in here and there. But social work, I love helping people. That is my passion. My thing is, if I can help one person change their life or see things differently, it's well worth it. It's just so rewarding. And I am a believer. I'm a praise and worship leader at my church, and I love doing that. My faith is so important to me. Family is important, and I have something about me is I have 14 siblings. Well, 13. I am number 12 of 14. So that's like I have a huge family, for all from the same parents. And my mom would always say, she says, if I could do it all over again, I would do it again. I said, Mom, you are just such a wonderful woman because I have three children. It's like, that's it. And so, but I am so blessed just to be here. And one thing, as I've done so many things in my life, and I started out doing, I worked in a preschool, and then I worked in a high school, a career center, and then I went into the medical with social work, where I worked at a community health center, and that's where I found my passion was for, helping people. I've always helped people. People talk to me all the time. I've always helped people, but then I found my passion there in social work. But one thing I've done on the side too, I've always did like MLMs and things like that. And I knew that there was a different way because my father and my parents always taught us, there's, they were entrepreneurs, and always taught us, you can, if you want more, you have to make it happen, and you can do it. And so I've done that for many, many years. I've been in so many things in life. And then one day I found this awesome business called OnPassive, and it changed my world. It changed my life. It was like, and as Ash always says, no business has ever done this before. And it's no, it's not business as usual. It's something totally different. It's not MLM, has nothing to do with that. And I love the concept. So, and I can talk on about this, my passion with Unpassive and my love for Unpassive. And it aligned with what I believed in, because it's about helping humanity, uplifting humanity, and helping people. And that's what, in the line of social work, you'll see it's just, helping people. And it aligned with that. But it was totally different from anything I'd ever seen before in my life, Julie. And it's the journey is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That is amazing. But first
Yeah.
of all, I'm gonna go back in time. Seriously, you don't look like you have 43 years of marriage on your face at all.
Oh,
First of
bless you.
all, it's because you look really not your age. And I don't know your age. And it's when you said you've been married for 40 something years, I thought, did you get married when you were 5, 10? I mean, like literally, but God bless you. And it seems like, having 43 years of marriage under your belt, and you look very lovely. That means that you have a very happy marriage, happy family, and I can see it through your face
Oh,
because you
bless you.
you are not only that it shows as there's youth in you, but also the happiness that you have. So I wanted to congratulate you for that.
Yeah.
But it seems like your life, I mean, based on what you're saying right now, you seem like your life is so rewarding, first of all, for the career, the profession that you choose. And I bet, you've in that position, in that profession, you're probably facing a lot of challenges with the people that you're dealing with, but it also seems like it's very rewarding at the same time.
Yes, it is, Julie. Y- so many challenges come up because you share with people, and people share with you, and you share their lives, and so many situations that, things that people go through.
Mhm.
And sometimes we don't realize that. And it's just some things that are so unimaginable. But the thing is that, like you said, it's so rewarding because I get to be there with them along on that journey.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to fix anyone's problem. I can't fix them. I can't do anything, but I can possibly help them to see things differently and help them to look at things from a different perspective, and to say, like, life may be this way right now, but could it be better? Yes. Could I make changes? Could I make adjustments in my life to make things different? And that is what's rewarding, when you can see that happen, where you're able to help someone to change their life and to do something different, and to feel better about themselves, to feel better about the world that they're in, and they change the way that they look at life, or their concept, or their perception, and they see things in a totally different light. And sometimes when that light bulb comes on, and they say, oh, okay, I am okay. This is okay that I'm not. And a lot of times people's like, they feel alone, and to let them know that they're not alone, that there's help out there, that someone that does care, people that out there that do care. And that's so rewarding for me. And I learned so much from my clients that I work with. So yes.
Yes, yes. And I also think that it is important for us to be guided, and not in the way of, the cultures or the religions or anything like that, but it's just guided because a lot of us are having more years in life than, for example, our children's age, so
Yes.
it's really important that, we you work with somebody that can guide you to the right path. Now, I wanted to take this opportunity to appreciate you for spending time to actually help my daughter on the project that she has years ago. And I want to bring this topic up too. It's about social media, and I know that you're probably working with a lot of children who facing that challenge as well, because social media right now is so crazy. It's so
Yes.
crazy. And so, how do you see social media affecting kids nowadays?
Julie, that is such a good question. And when I helped your daughter, it was my pleasure. And I was just so grateful that, she reached out to me, and that I was able to help. And, just looking at social media today, and kids in social media, it could be a good thing. But on the other hand, it could be something that affects kids in a negative way, because I say, when we were growing up, we didn't have the internet and all these other things. Or then if we did get the internet, we didn't have, you know, social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So there's so many more out there that I probably don't even know about. But with that, kids get to the point where they depend on social media and they believe everything that's said on social media that it's true, and they take that into their hearts, into their minds. And so it affects them because now with social media, so many things can happen. They have access to everything instantly. And there's bullying, there's cyberbullying, there's so many things out there that happens. And it causes kids that if they are on social media for support, for likes, and for entertainment or whatever they're out there for, if they don't get these things, they don't feel validated. And sometimes they use social media for validation and they use social media for their friends, but yet on the other hand they're tied to social media, that if they don't have that cell phone, if they're not connected to their social media account, that they kind of get anxious and they start to get anxiety, and they start to have all these other things that happen, behavior issues sometimes pop up, and it's like they're drawn to it and they're guided by it. But they if we are able to help our kids know that if we can use social media in the good perspective, and that we can also allow them so much time, because a lot of kids, I can't say most but all, but a lot of children, they spend hours and hours upon social media, whether they're playing games or video games or on their chats and all that, and they get depending upon that. And I've looked at that in the school, that where you can't have your cell phone, and sometimes they go into a panic and they'll have anxiety because they're so used to having that cell phone by their side. It's just like their companion, their friend, and their everything. And when they
They're
can't,
safeguards.
yes, it is. And yes. And if they can't have it, they sometimes there's behavior and there's, anxiety because I need to be connected to that social media. And we have to be there for them to support them and tell them, okay, social media, you can have so much time, but yet it's affecting, and they can't see that because their minds, they can only see this moment right now. They don't see the future, and what could happen. They see the moment. They're living in that moment, and it's all about me. So it's like, if I don't have this, I can't do this, and I can't connect with my friends and my people. They really get anxious, so we have to try and help them as much as we can to
Yeah,
let them.
it's kind of like shorten the time that they on
Right.
there. You
Mhm.
know, I do have children's, as you know. Now looking back, I feel like we're giving them the phone too early in their age. At that time, we were thinking about giving them the phone just so that we can call them or they can call us on emergency. But seriously, now that looking back, giving the kids a phone so early, it's almost like putting them in the middle of the intersection. Where
Yes.
cars is coming.
Mhm.
It's so dangerous to give them, and it's hard once you have already give them the phone. It's very hard to take it back. You know,
Yes.
like I said, it's like their safeguard. It's like their friends, like everything that we're depending on it, which is kind of dangerous. But if parents could spend time to actually guide them through and go through those safeguards, I think it's a good thing. Maybe give them the phone with some guidance, with some
Mhm.
limitations, with some restrictions. What's your thought?
Yes, Julie, that is so important. I think with that guidance, and they give, like you said, give them safeguards. I mean, it's their safeguard because they feel like they have to have it. But if
Yeah.
we give them guidance, we give them restrictions, we um, teach them about social media, let them know that it's not the all or the end all. But if we can help them to say, we put restrictions on it. You can have this cell phone, and as you said, I go back to that when you said we give it to them too early sometimes, because we think of it as as communication. Like if something happens, they need to be able to reach us, or we need to be able to reach them. But then it becomes like a whole different thing for them, because now they have access to the world, and so something that they haven't had before. And social media it's created to draw them in, to keep them there. So, but if we can guide them and let them know, okay, this is what it's for, um, and we can guide them to say, okay, you're going to be able to use it for these purposes, but yet there are going to be restrictions. And if we can put restrictions as parents and teach them, that's going to help them along the way. But I think that's so important that we do that. But when we just give it to them and just say they have free access to everything, that
Yeah.
does not, that creates a issue there, a big
Yeah.
problem. Hmm.
I also feel that, and it's also a reminder for myself as well that you give your children restrictions, you also want to give yourself restrictions because it could be very hypnotizing,
Yes.
when you're on your phone and you keep swiping up and reading and all these stuff, it just kind of suck you into it. And
Hmm.
if you as parents doing that and you give restriction to your children, it's just kind of like the guidance. You got to practice what you guide, I guess. I mean, and it's a reminder for myself and a lot of parents as well.
Right, it is, Julie, because we get, and I know myself, I'll get on the phone, and like you said, you get sucked in, and before you know it, hours have gone by.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Whoa," I was only gonna look here for 15 minutes, and you look up, it's an hour.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said, we have to practice what we preach. We tell our children not to, be on for hours, and we give them restrictions, but we don't practice that same thing. So they see us doing it, and it's like, "Oh, okay, well, you're doing this, and you're telling me differently, so, what's the difference?" But if we're guiding them and we're showing that we're practicing it and we're being that model for them, that helps. And if we're not, and we don't want to make the mistake of giving them social media or the cell phone for a babysitter for entertainment, that we don't spend time with our kids. So, and that's so important that we spend time with them so that they don't take social media and feel like that's their friend, that's their go-to, that's their safeguard, that mom and dad's over here doing something else or they're on it, so I'm gonna be on here and they don't even notice me, or some of them get on there for attention and they really, are looking for something that's missing in their life, and they feel that they can find that on that social media, especially with the likes and the popularity and everything that social media teaches them, that you have to be so popular in order to be liked. And so they take that in, and then when they don't get that gratification or they don't get those results, then there's another problem that pops up. Then here comes, they can be depressed, and they start to feel all these things, and that we could have helped guided them
Yeah. Yeah.
to,
Another, when talking about guidance, sometimes you can see that the kids nowadays are actually looking forward to for internet and social media for guidance. For example, what do I dress today? What do I
yes.
wear today? Or what kind of makeup or what kind of bag or what kind of things I do. They normally don't use their brain much anymore, but they use social media as a guidance also. And I
Yes.
believe that is another danger as well, because I do have a teenager in home and I see that often. And therefore, being so attentive to them on what they're doing in their social media is so important. But it's so hard to sometimes to pry that away from them. But I'm so glad we have this conversation. It's probably another reminder for the viewers. But let's go back to your profession. Are you working with kids only or adult or wide range of age group?
I work with kids in the past, and now I work with more of adults, but it's a range group, so it just kind of depends. I've worked with children, from 4 to 5 and all the way up to adults, whatever age. So,
Yeah.
just kind of basically whomever calls, and depending on their needs, if I feel that I'm able to help
Right.
them and to guide them, then I'll,
Yeah.
that's who I work with. Yes.
And you have your own practice as well.
Yes, I do. I
Great.
worked in a center for 12 years, and then I opened a private practice in 2018.
Hmm.
And I think that probably was the best thing ever, because that way, you can.
You have your own schedules and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yes, exactly.
So, throughout your professions of years that you have, what pulls your heart? Do you have? It could be, what pulls your heartstring. It could be sad story, good stories, things that you've seen a grow or a change or a big impact in the your client. Tell me some of that experience. I mean, you don't have to, obviously, privacy and stuff like
Right.
that, but yeah,
So the one of the things that pulls my heart the most is kids.
yeah,
When I see kids and what they go through, those are some of the more difficult, but yet it is when you can help that child to see differently, or if they're in a situation, or they've had experienced some trauma, and you're able to help them to overcome that trauma. They may not overcome it completely, but you can help them that the trauma doesn't become as dramatic as it did before. So it may be very dramatic in the beginning, but over time, as you work with that child, and now that they're feeling more, they may be so anxious that they're not able to um, really cope, and they don't understand. But when you can help that child work through that process and look at life differently, and then they have a whole new outlook and a hope, and know that they're future, and so my shirt says created for with purpose. And so, and I feel I wore that today too, because I'm like, if you could help someone see that they have purpose in their life, that they may have started out, with a big trauma, and it was just so devastating that they're stuck, and they're unable to move forward. But if you can let them know that they were created to purpose, and that their life is worth it, and that um, they're worth more than what they've been through, and
Mhm.
let them know that that life can be better. And if you can help them to see that, and to work through that trauma or the situation, whatever it may be, and that they see light at the end of the tunnel, as it just is saying, and that they're able to move forward, that is more gratifying than anything. And I've talked to a lot of people, I've heard a lot of stories, and I think children would be my number one. I love adults, and working with them too, but most adults, a lot of adults are, when they're in set in their ways, they've gone through things, but yet they're here. They've gone through it, but they were children once, and they carried that trauma or that situation all through life, and now here they are, dealt with the same issue that they haven't dealt with. And so sometimes children, they're so young, and you can work them through it. Adults, maybe take a little bit more and a little longer, but I think, but children would be my passion. They pull my heart. And but just helping someone overcome a situation is like the most gratifying thing. And like I said, I learned so much from people, and um, it's not just for them, but it's for me too. And even within social work, I don't share a lot. I don't share my life, but I listen to their life. But then, whatever situation, if you're able to help them, it's always
Yeah.
really
And I
good.
also think sometimes, people just want to be listened,
Hmm.
right? To
Yes.
listen attentively. Like they just want somebody to listen to their story, their point of view. And I believe that being a social worker, if you just sit and listen to their conversation, what they say, I believe it helped them tremendously, because so many people, I mean us ourselves too, we carry so many burdens. Sometimes we couldn't let it go, but telling someone the story helps letting it go. Am I right?
You are so right, Julie. It's just like you say, having someone there to listen and not to judge.
Yeah.
That like, I can talk freely, and I'm not going to be judged for what I say, for what I've done, or what's happened to me. And just sometimes you get that person, like, they'll tell you, I've never said this to anyone, but just to be able to get it out and to share it just relieves them so much.
Mhm.
And like you say, if we as people anywhere, we have what we need inside of us. And now here I am as a social worker, just to help bring that out of you. Like you
Mhm.
said, just to guide and to help you realize who you are, that what happened to you doesn't define you.
Mhm.
It doesn't define you. It doesn't say that because I was abused, or I was hurt, or I've been through this situation, that's who I am. That's not who you are. That's what happened to you.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when you can realize that that's what happened to me, it's not who I am. And it's always said that because you were in a situation or an environment that was toxic, you don't have to be, um, you don't have to be toxic because you were in that situation. You can come out of that, because you can look at that and say, and this is where I was, this is where I came from, but this is not who I want to be. That you can change, you can make that change in your life, and you can create a new environment for yourself. You can be all that you were called to be, all that you were destined to be. And
Right.
when you can help someone see that, that's my passion. I could talk about this all day. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that point up, because what happened to you is what happened to you. You can't
yes.
change that. But the stories that you make based on what happened to you is dangerous,
Hmm.
right? But you
Yes.
make the stories in your mind, but unless you keep them two separate, then it can set you free. But if you collapse them together, it's kind of like a trap keeping you behind the scene, keeping you under whatever happened to you. I remember I heard a story. There was a woman who kept the secret 75 years.
Mm.
And she finally told the story. And then the next day, when she comes back and we met her, she was totally a different person. It seems like she took 25 years off of her face because
Wow.
she let go of whatever happened to her, that secret, whatever that she's trying to shield, sealed from, you know, the reality. And it's 25 years off of her face. She's feel like she's full of love and sweet. And so it is really important for all of us, to
Yes.
separate what happened and the story we made, because the story we made, I believe, is a very dangerous story that we made in our head. Right? It's affecting in multi-dimensional ways, and it adds so many years of things that we kept in our subconscious, um,
Right.
that makes how we look today. And what we're talking right now is really we seeing it in our community when we see our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, spend time and just talk about things that going through, to spend time that just having so much relaxing time with us, because there's a lot of things and there we need to have an outlet ourselves as well.
Yes.
You know, so let's go back to when did you join on passive and how did you hear about it and what makes you say, oh, I want to do this? What make, how do you, I mean, to me it's kind of things that happen in on passive has some spiritual way, or absolutely have divine intervention, but
Hmm.
it has to, opportunities comes and knock on our door, but we let a lot of them go. But how did on passive come to you and knock on your door and you said, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it passionately?
Wow, that's a loaded question. So, but it's a good one. So I was, like I said, I was in the industry of MLM and online marketing. I've tried that for so many years. Some success, and I lost, a lot of money in it as well too. But I had basically given up on it because I had tried so many things, and it just wasn't working. But I knew in my heart that there was something out there. I said, if there was something out there that would be able to help me, but to do it for me, and I would be able to be there, but yet it would teach all these online things and that I didn't know about the technology and behind the scene and how to create a web page and how to create this SOS and all these things that I did not know. And I said, I wish there was something out there. Well, one day I was just on the internet and a gentleman that I'd done another business with by the name of Fred Lanswanger.
Okay.
He's no longer with us, but he was just a sweetheart, just a wonderful gentleman. He posted a video of Jeffrey Murlock, and I'm like, Fred, what are you doing? So I'm passive came to me because I was not looking because I was done. And I'm like,
Mhm.
who is this guy? What are you doing? And he said, oh, Joyce. And, he tried to explain it to me. I didn't understand. I just said, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of it because it just resonated with everything that I knew was out there. And then
Mhm.
back then, as I joined in 2020, September, so I'll be 4 years in September. And we didn't have everything, but he sent me a link and the link worked and then it didn't work. So we were working, but he sent it and I finally got it. I listened to Jeffrey, I listened to Mike, but I listened to Ash. And oh my gosh, this man was saying everything that I had hoped for, that I dreamed for. And I'm like, this is like, can't be true. So, and I'm listening to Fred, and we're talking back and forth. And I just said, I fell in love with it. I'm like, whatever he's doing, and if this concept works, it's going to be a game changer. And that's what I did, Julie. I joined it back in 2020. I planted my flag and I never looked back. And I said, this is the most beautiful thing that I've seen, a CEO out here who's working for people. He's working for us and trying to make things happen for us. And the company, the concept was like, All you have to do is show up, be here, and we'll put all these things together for you, and everything is going to be in one stop. And who does that? I'd never seen it before in any industry that I'd been in, and I just knew that I had to be a part of it. And the first month I was like, the first few months I was kind of like, oh, and talking to people and all that. And Fred's like, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is get in and yourself. But I was so excited about it that I started to tell my sisters, my brothers, and my friends, and telling everybody. And I listened to, everyone. And then I got into the community and I started meeting people. Then I met you. And, and I look at this as like, if it wasn't for I'm Passive, we wouldn't even know each other. I would have never ran across your path and we would have never became friends. And so
Mhm.
I've gained so much from Unpassive that it's just like the value, the friendships, the love, the support. And I remember during that time, like COVID was still we were in lockdown and couldn't do a lot of things. And we had lots of webinars
Mhm.
back then, and we got to know each other. We laughed together, we cried together, we shared together. And, we had so many good times. And I've met people from over 2,000 countries all around the world, people that I would have never met. And not only meeting people, but now it's like we're family. It's like you're my sister and Ash is my brother. And, I have my family is already big, 14 of us, but now I have this huge family of
Yeah.
that is just,
It's amazing how the world had gone through COVID with fear and all these crazy stuff, but our little community of On Passive had so much fun together. We built so much stronger and bigger community within those years. And yeah, without On Passive, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be able to get to know, people from 200 countries around the world. It's just how amazing this whole unpassive, this whole idea, that vision really transform in something really big that is impacting the entire world. So let me ask you, it seems like you are enjoying unpassive so much, but what how do you see unpassive, I guess, as a puzzle to fit in with our lives, to fit in with this world, to fit in with everything that's around? How do you see on passive fit in to with all of those?
good question, Julie. So passive fits into like every aspect of life. I've seen it where, like you said, we've met so many people around the world, but yet the concept of I'm passive is to uplift humanity. So there's so many things in life that I've always wanted to do, and I know other people have wanted to, but we just didn't have the means to do it. And now with Unpassive, Ash has created this community, this company that's going to bring everyone together, bring things that we'll be able to do these projects, and we'll be able to help people that we've never been able to help before, that we wanted to do it. Like I want to do it like an empowerment center where this is one, and Ash just talked about this too. This is one place where I would like to teach young people how to interview, how to uh, just sometimes in life, people lose their way. And if there's not guidance in the home, but sometimes just teaching a young lady how to dress, how to talk, how to, they may want to experience makeup, but how to just be a young lady, how to dress modest and still be presentable. And also with that, have a place where they could come and learn and they can grow how to, you know, be an entrepreneur, how to get a job. And then you have the adults on the other hand, where we have like a place where even homeless people can come in and teach them how to get back into society. So the center would be impacted with everything in there that a person would need to grow and to learn. Because sometimes with just teaching basic skills, sometimes people they lose their way and they just don't have the basic skills to get along in life, just like being able to teach them. I've had people in my life that have gone through difficult times and they get there and they lose track of time, but they lose the ability just to function in everyday life. So just to teaching people, and a learning center, also educational center where we'd have even financial stuff there, It's just a center where I would love to do all these things. It's my idea. I have it written down, but I didn't have a way to do it. Now with OnPassive, it's going to connect and it's going to help me to be able to do that. And with everything that we have on OnPassive, it's going to be everything in one place, and we'll be able to go there, and anything that we need, we'll be able to have it. The tools will be there for us to use. So OnPassive is going to affect our lives in so many ways that we can help people that we weren't able to help in the past, and now, and then we can teach people how to be sufficient, and we can teach them how to if whatever they're thinking of in life, we'll have that there to show them and to educate them. So our passive is going to be huge, and it's already huge in our lives, so we know it's just going to impact the world, to uplift humanity, and to allow anyone that wants to do a project that you have. Now here's the tools and the means to do it that you didn't have before.
Yes, yes. And what you're saying really matches what you're wearing right now is created with purpose. So you are creating the wellness center or the empowerment center to actually get gathering people around the world where they can find a lot of things in there in terms of education, sports and relax and culturally different as well, which is this beautiful idea, which really bringing me to the point. I believe Mr. Mufareh has gathered a few of us, and a group of us talking about, not a group. I think there was like kind of like a public webinar where
Hmm.
he talked about what's your idea in terms of how do we eradicate poverty. That would be a one way that I believe that we can do that. And imagine, Joyce, if you are working on that, your center yourself, and you have the blueprint of what you are doing, all the ideas, all the manual script, and everything that you are doing on that way. And what if we have a huge community globally and we share that blueprint or that manuscript to
Hmm.
everyone? And imagine how we can make an impact to the world. Let's say you have a center in Michigan. I have one in California. Marty has one in New Jersey and blah, blah, everywhere around the world, not only within this country. However, it could be around the world. And that's one of the reasons why everyone that doing a project always, asking me what kind of idea I have, I always say to them, whatever you do, creating a blueprint and use it as your tool to do what you need to do where you are. And if it worked and everything worked out, share with all of us so that we can actually take that blueprint. Because why do we need to reinvent the wheel where the wheel is already there, right? Joyce Hicks already has her center. We all can work alongside with each other and imagine we could say this is on passive day. Who knows? It could be an on passive day globally where we're getting together. All the centers are open, focusing on one thing, feed the hunger, for example, or educate or bring them back to society. And I believe that we all can do that. And we all can do that if we always start with the intention. And that's your intention that you stated with us here.
Yes, that is so true, Julie. We could do that, around the globe. You're right. Have that empowerment center in every state, every country where it's if it works, and we spread it out.
Yeah.
And that's what, like with Oh Bless, that's one of the things too that we'll be doing with Oh Bless too. And then, as you said, there was a group of people. I know there were the angels, and then there was a group that was working on things such as this. And like you said, why reinvent the wheel when it's already been invented? And within an empowerment center, I will also work with other agencies that's already out there,
Mhm.
bring them in and give them the means to, because they're there, they're doing um, their projects and what they focus on, but a lot of times they just don't have the
The resources.
resources. Yes, and
Yeah.
so here comes On Passive,
Yeah.
that gives them those, the resources, the ability to do it. They have the tools, and now what impact will we make on the world, and what impact will those agencies make? Why? I'm not going to go out and create, a food bank when there's already one in my town, and I would just work with that particular homeless or that food bank or whatever organizations that's there. We bring it all into the empowerment center, and now you have this huge, like you say, this huge footprint foundation, and hey, we're doing it all across the world, across the
Yeah,
globe, and
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, one of these day we know that it's going to happen,
yes,
and a lot of things that we are working right now is not really for us. It's for our the next generation. It's for our kids. It's for our grandkids. And if we have a chance to actually set that stone now, and build it from there, or plant the seeds right now to build it from there. And I believe on passive is that seed. I love the fact that when I interviewed Megan Mitchell, and she said, on passive is really a seed that I believe that it can be grown everywhere in the world. I mean, it's really crazy how all of us getting together at the very beginning, we said, oh, this is an opportunity. I'll be able to make money. I'll be able to do that. I'll have a chance to be financially free. But at that time, that's all we could think of, because
hmm
so many people around the world, and myself included, we, although we didn't look for the opportunity, but when we enter an opportunity, we said, oh, hopefully we can make money out of it.
yes,
And that's the real truth, right? That's the real
yes,
truth. But how many people, how many of us are sitting here and talking about how much money we're going to make? What am I going to do with that money? None of us. I mean,
right,
the people that we know, at least,
hmm
don't ever talk about it. We just want to know that, our family is taken care of, right? Means
yes,
enough to live, enough to survive, maybe have a little bit extra for fun. I'm sure we do.
right,
But we really don't talk about it anymore. We don't talk about, oh, I dream to buy this car and living in this house and moving. We don't. All we talking about in all of our conversations right now, it's about how I am going to do what I am going to do to carry out my passion to lift up other humanities around the world. And that's all our conversations. Seriously.
it
Of course,
is,
based on the people that we know,
right.
which we know so many.
hmm That is so true, Julie. It's like you said, it's for our kids and for the next generation. But when we talk about it, and when you said that, it made me go back 4 years ago when I first got in. It was all about me, that I was going to buy this, this, and this, and I'm going to make all this money. And that's funny now. I don't even, that really doesn't even cross my mind, because it's like about helping other people and to make sure that everyone is taken care of. As Ash just said, that, yeah, we're going to do things for our family, make sure that we're taken care of and have, things to have fun and enjoy life. But it's about other people. It's about who can I help? And that's what everyone looks at. Who can I help? Who can I bless? And who needs this? And that's where our focus is. It's like, what can I do for humanity to lift up someone else outside of me? Because I know we know that there's so many people out there that's in need and that need OnPassive.
Mhm,
And, then now we know that we have the tool to bless them with.
mhm.
And that just, it blows my mind, because I'm thinking about, like, wow, that's how I used to think. It was
Yeah,
all about me and making money, and now it's like, no,
yeah,
it's about, blessing someone else. And
absolutely. It's how crazy how OnPassive is a business, is a technology company. We know all that. But
yes,
all of these conversations are all about lifting up humanity, whether or not it is, helping certain charities, helping certain area, or the technology part of it. It's just really amazing how on passive, almost, it's like on passive movement that transform the way we live, the way we think, the way how we do things, the way how we connect with each other. It's just amazing. And we are so blessed to be the early birds in on passive.
yes, we are.
Yeah, I also added that, we are also called. We're called to be here
Yes.
because, I mean, what Mr. Mufareh said, I want to have a millions Mother Teresa around the world. And
Mm,
anybody, everybody could be a Mother Teresa. The idea of it is so important. An idea comes into thoughts, come into actions, come into, plans that lay out, and everybody's part of it. It's just so amazing.
it
So
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
we can talk about this all day, almost.
Right.
Yeah, we can
Exactly.
talk about this all day, but I wanted to talk about you now. Um, what are you looking forward to do? What are you looking forward to? It could be technology, it could be having the earning the money that you make from the products to buy something. It could be anything. And maybe it's just I just want to take care of my health. I mean, it could be anything. So what are you looking forward to do?
Julie, the one thing I'm looking forward to do is, like you said, health is so important because if we're not healthy and we can't enjoy what we have, right? So health is very important to me, and I've started on that track as well. But one thing I've always wanted to take my family on a trip, just an all expense paid trip, just my family to wherever they wanted to go and just enjoy, time together where they didn't have to worry about expenses. It was just a trip. You just say where you want to go, and everything is taken care of. I would love to do that for my family. That's one of my biggest dreams, and probably wherever we go, it doesn't matter. But just to make them happy that they have joy in life and that they would experience that. And then one day we were I want to travel. That's like one thing. I want to live on the beaches of the world. But we were on a webinar the other night, and Michael Williams was talking about, they were talking about islands, and we were talking about the beautiful island of St. Lucia where Julie is and Julie Pier. And so he said, we should do an island hop, just go island hopping. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like my dream to go
Yeah,
island hopping. And like from island to island, just visiting on passive members and non-passive, but just going, being able to do that, to travel the world, and be able to just enjoy life with, friends and family. We go, a lot of people like to go bar hopping. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go island hopping. So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. That's like another scales.
another skill, right? Exactly. I want to be at
Yeah,
a different
yeah,
level. But I thought that would be so much fun. Just a bunch of us got together, whomever, and we meet up and just go and visit, different people on different islands, and we spend time there, and then go to the next place. But that's my dream, is like to, but basically to, um, do a trip for my family, and then just travel the world and see this beautiful world that we have, and
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
enjoy life. Yes.
So we have been known each other for you for over 4 years, and for myself over five. We've talked to a lot of people. You've met Mr. Ash Mufareh. You've met Peter and Sherry, and
Yes.
Sherry too. Yeah, you have met a few people. Who are you looking forward to meet?
I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Oh my god, you make me feel so special.
Oh, I do. It's like, because I just, we talk all the time, but I just to meet in person and just to give you a hug. Because when I met Sherry and Peter, it was just awesome. It was like
Yeah,
at the beginning of Passive, and now that I know them, I met Ash, and he's phenomenal. It's like, and I'm looking forward to meeting him again as well. I would
yeah,
love to meet, see Ash again. Just so many people. Oh my gosh, if I start naming names, it's like I would love to meet all the people that we've been in webinars with, and meet them in person and hug them and just to laugh. I met Milo too, because Milo came to
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah,
That was
yes, yes,
amazing. Yes.
yes, yes.
And and so when we meet in person, it's so different because
Yeah,
we've talked on webinars for years and years, and now here we are in person. So I told Sherry the next time that I'm in California, I'm going to make it a point, especially when it's on a good occasion. I'm going to
yeah.
make it a point to come down to see you guys, for
Yes,
for a
yes.
day.
We're
So
looking. I'm looking forward to see you too,
yes.
and absolutely, hugs is what we're looking forward
Oh
to. Just to
yes.
hug each other and just
Hmm.
hold each other tight and say, "Oh my God, it's so good to meet you."
I
I,
know.
I want to talk about your experience meeting very first time Mr. Ash Mufareh, and I know he met with you, with Peter, with your husband, and yeah, tell me about that
Oh
experience.
my gosh. So when Ash was coming to Michigan, and we got the call that he was going to be here. So I was already excited, because I wanted to meet Ash. It's like, wow, that's just phenomenal. But when we got to the restaurant and he walked in the room, Julie, it was just amazing. So here comes this guy that I've seen on webinars before, and when he walked in, his presence was just, it was awesome. But he made us feel so like it was about us. And, he appreciated us. He wanted to hear about us. He talked about us, and it wasn't about him, but he made me feel so comfortable. It's like I knew him forever, and we hugged, we laughed. He is a brilliant man, but he is hilarious. He is funny. He's like, he made us laugh. He made us feel good. And we just laughed, we talked, and I got to meet his wife and his children. And it was just phenomenal. I mean, they were just, you think if you meet a CEO and someone that they're going to be, here and they're talking business and all that. Ash was like, no way. They were so down to earth that, even when my husband met him and he, he had met Marty on a webinar and he said, oh, I love Marty. I love Marty. I'm like, Melvin, this is Ash. Ash was just so, he did it with grace, and he laughed, and it was just like he made us feel comfortable. It didn't matter. Even I wanted to shrink down. It's like, this is our CEO, and whatever. But Marty and Ash, we always laugh about that.
Yeah.
He was just like the most caring person, and in his heart, you could see it in him. It's like his heart was there. It's just like humanity, just it just flowed from him. That
Mhm.
he was, just a person that everything that he said, I believed, and I trust him. I met him in person, and I know that he's a real person. He loves people. He cares for people, and he cared for us. And it wasn't about business. It was about us. And I
Yes.
really appreciate that, because most CEOs, if they're going to talk about business, is about them and what I can do and what I can have, but it was nothing like that. And
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it was just great meeting him. And I would love to see him again and meet him all over again, just to hug and share, because we've come so far now. And I know his heart is even bigger than what it was before. If it could get any bigger, I know that it's, he's so committed to this movement and to this journey, that so grateful to be on the journey with him, and to be a part, an early bird, and to be a part of on passive, and to
Okay.
experience what it's going to do for the world.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is so amazing that he treats everybody with love and care, and no difference, no
Yes.
difference. And his drive, his commitment to make this happen is so amazing. And it attracts so many good people around the world, you know?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
That drive is like, I've never seen a drive like his before.
Yeah.
And, I think we'll ever see it again in our lifetime. So,
Yeah.
but just
It's
grateful.
it's just so grateful, and it is a blessing, and it is a blessing to get to know you and know what you are doing, and know that you look beautiful. You will have that youth in you, and I'm grateful for this opportunity and this conversation that we have together.
Yes, me too, Julie. Thank you so much. You are beautiful as well, inside and out. And I just want to take this time to tell you too, I appreciate you and everything that you do for the unpassive community, and for people just around the world. You just share yourself, and you do it selflessly. And, we don't find many people like that. But unpassive, we find so many people that are willing to go that extra mile for anyone else. And I do appreciate you, and I'm thankful for our friendship. And I just can't wait to continue this journey on, and to see what God has in store for all of us. So, yes, um, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this conversation. Like you said, we could go on and on and on and on forever, just talking and laughing. But it's been awesome, and thank you for everything that you do. And again, thank you, Mr. Ash Mufareh, for everything that you've done for us, all the sacrifices that you've done, and you did not have to do it, but because of the goodness in your heart, and that God has ordained you and put you in this place to do this work. And I know that you will finish what you started, and it's going to be so awesome and phenomenal, that it's going to um, blow away a lot of people in the world. Is going to be so amazed. So again,
Yeah.
thank you, Julie, for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. And I also wanted to appreciate you for all that you are doing. What you are doing is leaving an impact in the world as well. And so continue it, and build that blueprint and share it with all of us. So thank you for very much for your time. And I'm so looking forward to meet you and just sit down, have a matcha together. How about
Yes.
that?
How about it? Yes, that would be great. Awesome.
Yay. Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much for being here. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this segment. And if you are looking forward to tell your story and looking forward to have a conversation with me, I'm always here. Reach out to me and let's have that heart to heart conversation. Take care, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you,
Thank you.
Joyce, once
Thank
again.
you, Julie. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yes, and I'll be praying for your daughter and
I appreciate you.
right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's in good hand. Thank you so
Okay. Yes.
much.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful day and
Thank you.
all
God
right.
bless you.
God bless you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.